Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Bettina Carey here, and I'm the founder and CEO of We Empower You, the community, and We Empower Your Life, the membership. And I'm so excited to welcome back our $1 Million mentor, Miss Lee Romanov. She's back here today. We're going to be dialing deep into the 4 cornerstones of what makes up a We Empower You membership. And I can't wait to hear and explore with Lee a little bit more. And I'm going to have Lee just take it away.
Thank you, Bettina. I'm going to start with a video, but before I start, I just want to remind people what we were talking last week. Okay, last week we did turn your message into $1 million business. And I turned someone else's message into $1 million business, a multi-million-dollar business. I turned, find the lowest car insurance rates into a multi-million-dollar business. So it's really, as long as you have a message for people, whatever the message is, it can be simple and it can be complicated as long as it's simple, that you grasp it. It's a sound bite, okay? So turn your message into $1 million business is what the We Empower You membership does for people. Okay, so the We Empower You membership includes the Income Activator website platform, which is the only all-inclusive website platform that includes a store, unlimited, but it also includes the same lead software that all the multi-million-dollar companies use to generate lead revenue, whether it's a Google pay-per-click model. You can use it and go directly to the advertiser and cut out the middleman, or it can be referral forms that Angie's List uses, Home Advisor, and go directly again to the advertiser, sending the advertiser leads. They do not sell online. Google doesn't sell, Pinterest doesn't sell, Facebook doesn't sell, YouTube doesn't sell to their visitor traffic. They get content and they send leads back to businesses. That's their multi-million-dollar platform. And you have it with the Income Activator website platform. It also includes a TV show spotlight where you can get your message out, and that can run on Amazon TV, Apple TV, Chromecast, Google Play, Roku, and Android TV, and that reaches a potential audience of 50 million. So once you have your 5-minute TV show spotlight and a website that produces what I call liquid money, basically having visitors complete referral forms, creating lead revenue, then you go to the sponsorship stage where you get a sponsor to say, yeah, I align with your message. I'm going to give you $50,000 or $100,000 a year to promote your message, to send people to your website, to create this liquid money. And the We Empower You membership is also liquid money. When people get the membership, you're paid $800 annually for when they get the membership, and annually. If you end up having 100 people getting the We Empower You membership through you, that's $80,000 a year. It's a very simple process, very simple. The only complexity about this process is you understanding how simple it is. Bettina? Okay, so today we're going to talk about promotion in the mainstream media. And you can promote the membership, whether you have the membership or not. Doesn't matter whether you bought it or not, you can still promote it. If you promote it, there are a couple ways of promoting it. You can send Bettina leads. You can send people to these weekly meetings. If they convert, you're paid $800. And every year after they renew their membership, you're paid. And people that get a membership will ultimately renew the membership if they create their website, producing liquid money, have the TV show, and the sponsorship package. It just makes sense. Now, what's really cool is that this membership is barely a year old, and already people have gone from the website to creating their TV show spotlight, and now on the verge of creating their sponsorship package. So people within the membership are following the process. People that are just promoting the membership. Now, this is really cool. It won't cost you a dime to promote it. You can, whether you're a member or not, include your product within the membership. Because remember, when someone buys the membership for $15.99, you're paid half of that, which is $800. Now, for example, I don't own this membership. Bettina owns this membership, but I included my product in the membership. Now I have an option of including my product in the membership just for the clients that I deal with or my potential clients, or I can include the product for all the members. It's my choice. So it's very, very cool. So when I'm promoting to the mainstream media, I can talk about my product and say, yeah, you can buy my product, or you can buy my product within a membership and also get a TV show and a sponsorship package and all the other products that people are throwing in to the membership. So it's very, very cool. So now what I'm going to be focusing on today is how you go from being a doer, because most people, most entrepreneurs are doers. They create books, they create products, they create courses, and they work for time, and when they sell, they work for sales. Again, no multi-million-dollar corporation does what you do. That's why this membership is so fascinating. And you may not even understand it the first 3 times or 4 times you hear about it, but when it hits big time. So let me give you an example. I'm going to play a short video, and then I'm going to talk about promotion in the mainstream media and how you guys can be moved from doers to promoters. And this is my Income Activator TV show. Sound okay?
Yes. A little bit higher. We lost the sound.
Good now?
Yeah.
Welcome to Income Activator TV. I'm your host, Lee Romanov, and president of Income Activator, a website platform superior to WordPress and GoDaddy and Wix. And did I say WordPress? And back to the TV show, because I'm excited to introduce our guest, Bill Maher, host of his own TV show, Your Time with Bill Maher. He's here, right? Hey, Bill, as you may know, and a handful of others, that Income Activator allows you to get your greatest message out to the world, much like Jesus did. Oh, anyway, Bill, people get sucked into so-called gurus, and they pay big money to software companies that they don't need, and they get crappy websites that don't have the features that can make them money, and they go nowhere but broke and praying to God for help. You know, Bill, I don't get it. All the successful big money companies like Google, Facebook, Priceline, Angie's List, YouTube, they all make money from leads, sending leads to companies that pay them. Why aren't people that are trying to make money online not seeing this? It's crazy. It's right in front of their faces.
I mean, you know, there's interpreting, and then there's just ignoring.
You know, Bill, when I created Income Activator, I did something different. I decided to give people all the revenue models and the features so that they could actually make money online instead of spend money online.
You cannot say you're a follower.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. I can't believe when I hear somebody saying, I don't care if my website makes me money, it just costs me money.
But if it is like joining Greenpeace and hitting wet.
I spent $3,000 on a course on how to sell online, $8,000 on a website, $5,000 on a mastermind group, and still wasn't making a dime online.
How could a man suffer like that and forgive?
And then he was told by the internet guru that he just wasn't getting it, but he could join his insiders group for $15,000 to learn how to make money online. Well, it's like,
If you go to a baptism and hold the baby under until he starts talking, you're missing the message.
exactly. That's why I'm here.
To which I say hallelujah.
Income Activator is a website platform even you could operate. You can type, right? It's crazy what people are being told by all these so-called gurus. I just want to expose them all.
But if you rejoice in revenge, torture, and war,
My staff thinks I do. But the world's going broke, Bill. By people paying these gurus to teach them how to make money online when they've never made money online.
I know, I'm sorry. I know you hate this and you want to square this circle, but you can't.
Yeah, like 60 million people are using WordPress and it's costing them money in software and webmasters. Income Activator has all features included. Forms and autoresponders and email messaging and data collection and an online store and referral programs where you can send leads to companies that pay you. I mean, I don't mean to insult programs like WordPress, but what do you say?
Sorry, Head Start, you're number 2 now.
I'd like to say that, but I can't say that.
But you see, I can say that.
You know, Bill, it's just sales versus leads. If you want to make $120,000 a year, I'm sure you do. If you're selling a $20 product, you actually need 3,300 people a day to your website. And they don't tell you this in How to Sell Online school. But if you want to make $120,000 by sending $20 leads to companies, you only need 40 people a day to your website. Remember, this is what big money companies do, but as you said, it's being ignored by the man on the street. No wonder we aren't all internet millionaires by now.
Hey, Fox News, you missed the big headline.
No, Bill, Fox still has time.
But you know what? I've seen a lot of people take clips, and they take clips, inject their point of view, and another clip, and another clip. You know, if you can't get them on the phone, just start doing what you can. So let me just reshare my screen. Can you see? Okay, let me just go back to this one. Okay, so turn your message into a multi-million-dollar business. We went over the We Empower You membership is a 50-50 partnership. And whenever you promote it, you can, like I did, include your product in it and receive $800. 100 members gets you $80,000. Now, promotion in the mainstream. Now you can promote your own product. You can promote your product within the membership. You can, just promote your own product, or just promote the membership. Doesn't matter. Whichever direction you want to take, what I'm about to tell you applies. So if we go down here, if we look at this, we know from stats that your website is your online business. And when you incorporate the lead revenue product, about 40% of your visitors can convert into revenue if you have a message that leads them into the conversion. If you have a different kind of message, like buy this product and then get this membership or something, you've got to make it congruent. You've got to make that message apply to your audience. So whatever you're promoting, you can send leads to a business that helps them continue that promotion and get them better assisted. For instance, when I did Insurance Hotline, I said, come to the website for the lowest car insurance rates. And when they came, I sent leads to insurance brokers. I didn't send leads to flower arrangement designers or chiropractors, because that would be a disconnect. You send leads to your message. It's just that you're not the doer. Now, if you're selling you know that 1% of your traffic may buy, which is a really hard thing to start to make a lot of money with. So ideally you want to incorporate, I'm not saying don't stop your sales or doers, but what I'm saying is start incorporating your lead program, and the membership is a good way of doing it when you build your product into the membership. So when I was talking about promoters and doers, I had no idea that there was an in-between step called attempters. Because that's when you're moving from a doer to a promoter. And I only found out about attempters because I met you guys. And we're moving you from doers to promoters, and you're in this middle stage. And I'll tell you what this middle stage looks like, because I've been talking to enough of you guys. Here's what a promoter looks like. They're screaming out their message, getting paid for leads. Here's what a doer looks like. They're doing work and they're getting paid for it. An attempter is trying to be a promoter from a doer's perspective, getting crappy results and not getting paid. Now I'll show you how this manifests, because a lot of people that are trying to be promoters are attempters and they're getting crap results. Yeah, results, 2 words. Okay. So doers, how they get business is that a lot of referrals, a lot of, oh, did you talk to this accountant? Oh, who do you know a good accountant? Do you know this? Do you know that? That's why promoters want to find doers to promote to. So a lot of doers get their business from referrals and the internet in regard to, you know, their Facebook or their Twitter or their, you know, email marketing, whatever they happen to be doing internet wise. They also get leads that turn into clients. So, and they're happy because they get paid for doing. But when the doers try to go as a promoter, they fall into this category. And because they're doers originally, they promote, but they drag all their social media attempts into their tempting stage. And social media doesn't give you the big bang as going straight to the mainstream media. So the attempters get lost in here saying, yeah, I'm promoting, but I'm not getting any results. It must be a time in kind of thing. It's not. It isn't. It's dragging your doer mentality into a promoting mentality that just absolutely 100% does not work. You will never be a promoter. You will keep going back to doers. You'll be a doer, attempter, and it's a mess. It's a real mess. But a promoter gets there I am, I'm on CNN. Who knew I would ever be on CNN? And they called me, okay? So the promoters talk to the mainstream media. The attempters keep doing the social media stuff, like the doers. So let me just look at this again. A doer gets referral clients. They do a job and they get paid. And they're paid on the job or hourly basis. They're never the multimillionaires. The promoters, all they do is promote to mainstream media. And they just make money from lead revenue, which your We Empower You membership gives you. And you can build in your product into that. So promoters are mainstream, doers are referrals, and social media, and attempters use the tools a doer does, and it never works. So let's look at this a little bit further. Doers, they do free consultations, or sorry, complimentary consultations, webinars. Zoom meetings, seminars, events. This is all the things that doers do. Promoters don't do any of this crap. This is insanity for a promoter. Promoters pick up the phone and pitch to the mainstream media. That's all we do. That's it. We don't do any of this. None of this, because all of this stops us from doing this. And talking to 10 people on consultations or 20 people on a Zoom meeting compared to 10 people in the mainstream media or 20 people in the mainstream media, big difference. You're talking to people here, you're talking to people here. These people are one-offs. These people are in the hundreds and thousands. So, doers, consultants, webinars, Zoom meetings, seminars, attempters that want to be promoters, drag this stuff into this stuff and expect it to produce these results. And nothing here, consultants, webinars, Zoom meetings, seminars, events, is anything like picking up the phone and talking to somebody in the mainstream media. So you can't get these results if you do this stuff. Because if you do this stuff as an attempter, you're going to go back here and you're going to be a doer. Again, this is going to force you back into this. And this is where I'm finding, and then the no results, this is a good one. When you hit no results, you just think you're not a good promoter. So you start rationalizing. I love the rationalizations that I've been getting. They're wonderful. I love the excuses I'm getting. They're wonderful. So let's take a look at some of them, okay? Here's a good example. When the attempters don't do what a promoter does, like pick up the phone and pitch, here's what they say. Oh, well, you know what? I'm just building a list. The promotion I'm doing will work. Give it time. Media is hard to contact. This list I have is outdated. I have other work, family issues. What does that have to do with anything? But anyway, these people I know that I'm talking to are interested. I know they are. I just have to get them to come to a meeting. I just have to get that person to come to a meeting. And it'll be like, hallelujah. I'm creating awareness. I'm building my reputation. I'm afraid of failure. That's the inside person saying. That's their inner voice. So here's the response from a promoter to this. I'm building a list. When you promote, when you pick up the phone and pitch and you're on CNN or a radio show that has 100,000 people on it, that builds your list. Within 6 months of promoting, starting from nowhere, I had a larger list than the one of the largest media companies in Canada. Just in 6 months. Promotions I'm doing will work, give it time. When you're promoting properly, it works the first time. If you go on a radio station and you get 20 people or 30 people to get your product, great. If you get one person, okay, I wouldn't do that radio station again. But you got to be smart about it. You got to think about it. It works when you promote to the right audience, it works immediately. Media is hard to contact. The list is out of date. I don't know who to call. Search online, pick up the phone. That's your answer. That's it. I don't care if you have an outdated list. If they're still in business, somebody's there to pick up the phone, answer, and I would say, who can I talk to about this issue? That's it. Or what topics are you going to be presenting? I'm an expert in this. Maybe I can give you some content. Start a conversation. Ask. Okay, let's see. These people I know, okay, I have other work. Well, your other work is usually doer work. Family issues. We all have family issues. So we just all do. Promoters have family issues too. These people I know are interested. Promoters look for the low-hanging fruit, the people that are interested. They're interested, they'll just do it. I mean, I've got people registering for my website platform every day that I don't know from around the world. They're interested, they will just do it. I never talk to people that get a website platform, except for people I know like Leanne. Okay. Let's see. I just have to get them to come to a meeting. Again, when you're promoting, they'll come. They will come. You don't have to get them to do anything. They will come. Your low-hanging fruit will start rolling in. I'm creating awareness. You get on the mainstream, it's instant awareness. You don't have to create it, you have it. When I promoted through the Toronto Star, the Globe and Mail newspaper ran to me. I did, because I was on the Toronto Star and they ran to me. The media runs to you. When the media sees somebody that's doing a message, it's like gets it out to all the media. Did I ever tell you the time when I was watching a TV station, and there's a plane that went down in the Toronto airport. It skid off. It was Air France. It skid off the runway, and then it burst into flames. And I was watching this on the news, and a friend of mine called me up and said, "Did you see the crash, the Air France crash?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And he said, "My wife was on there, and what happened is that the plane skidded off. Everybody ran out. They're all in the 401, and people are picking them up. Everybody's safe, no worries." So I called the TV station and I said, "Hey, you guys, you're saying you don't know if, people got injured, if anyone lived or died." I said, "Just wanted to let you know that when it went off the runway, the doors open, everybody ran out, no injuries, they're all in the 401, and Bob's your uncle." And then I went off. Within 15 minutes, I had the CTV, NBC, ABC calling me. How did they get my number? I was like the news that day. I was on the Larry King show because I just reported the truth of an accident. And I just couldn't believe it. The media, like I was the only media in town. And I said, I wasn't on the plane. And they said, "It doesn't matter. You tell a great story." And I'm like, and then they said, "Come to the airport tomorrow. We want to interview you." I said, "I wasn't on the plane." So I went to the airport. And by that time, when I went to the airport and Fox News ran up to me for the interview, every other station ran up to me for an interview. And by that time, I'm like flipping Sharon Stone, and I was saving babies, like, so that's how the media operates. They hear a story, they hear a good story, they'll find you, but you got to get out there. Okay. So Insurance Hotline produced anywhere from 50,000 to 100, my best month, 113,000 per month in $5 leads. And there was no way I was going to get that revenue by hand holding people that weren't sure whether they wanted to get a car insurance quote, and rationalizing my system. I had this company for 5 years before my friends and family used it for a quote. And they only used it for a quote when they heard it on the news. My friends and family wouldn't use the service, but complete strangers would. So that's the difference. You're talking to a very, very difficult audience. If they know you, you are not a celebrity. If you're on the mainstream media, you're a celebrity, instant credibility, and that's how crazy it works, but it does work. And your friends and family will still not use your service until it's verified. Okay, so, and here's my yippity doo-dah. Okay, it's not that hard. You guys create a product and sell it. I, through lead revenue, ask a company if they want a lead. That's my work. Hey, do you want me to send you a lead? You guys create products and courses and teach them and talk to people, and they're nightmare. I say, do you want to lead? Do you want to join this membership and have a website, TV show, and sponsorship package? Do you want to? Your choice. Do you want to promote it? You can make millions of dollars by promoting it. Just asking. Here's another good thing. Okay. Promoters, mainstream media, pick up the phone and call. There, that's my workload. Hey, hi, just wondering. Attempters that get no results, rationalize, excuses galore, consultants, webinars, Zoom meetings, seminars, events. This is what you guys look like because you're not making any money as a doer and you're not making any money as a promoter. And you keep getting pushed back as a doer. So I'm just saying, I'm just introducing you to a way easier lifestyle. And I'll keep introducing it to you until you get it, because it's wonderful. It's easy. You don't have to do, you promote, you make money, and you talk to really interesting people, whether Bill Maher will ever pick up the phone or whether I'm just going to clip him into my interviews. I don't care. So I am done again this week. I guess I stopped sharing. Stop share. So, oh, hello guys. I'm open to questions because tomorrow is my birthday, apparently. Holy crap.
It's your birthday tomorrow. I love it. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for this presentation. You know, you've been saying this for 2.5 years that I've known you, and every time I get a little bit closer to this, and I love the distinction between the doers and the promoters and
The attempters.
yeah, the attempters. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. And you know, one thing that people may not know is that social media as it used to be is no more, right? So it's a pay to play environment, and creating organic content and putting it on in order for an organic group of people to find you is a ginormous task, whether you do it daily or weekly. And at the end of the day, it's not a platform unless you have tens of thousands of dollars to play in. You're not going to move the dial. It's just nearly impossible, because almost every word that you write in your post is analyzed by the social media platform. And if it says sale, if it says a dollar sign, if it says money, if it says anything about a webinar or anything that looks like you're selling something, it's going to downgrade the post such that hardly anybody ever sees it. And so, you know, it's not worth the effort in comparison to what you're talking about. And you're on it, and we need to be on it. Let's open up the mics and get people to share.
And the other thing is, this is great. And you got it in your back head. When you move from a doer to an attempter, you're thinking, I'm going to fail. I know it. I can feel it. And just so you know, you've already failed. Okay. If you're just doing attempter things, you've already failed. You're already there. You're in the failing mark. You've got an F. So you might as well fail at the right thing, because you will hit something really good. You can't help but not hit something really good, because the media loves entrepreneurs and advocates. I'm the media. I was the media. I know I have my own TV show, my own newspaper, everything. Well, at least with the mainstream.
It's really great distinction. I see the heads nodding, and so I'd love for folks to open up their mics. I know T is one of the first people to jump into that the spotlight, and of course she was following Lee's modeling, and I'll be jumping into that bandwagon myself. I know I was talking with Sally Page last week about jumping into that. Sally or TU might have some questions or comments.
Yeah, you know, the other thing is, if you just want to start with the mainstream media, whether it's CNN, whether it's Fox, whether it's you know, just call up and say, hey, you know what? I'm an expert in this. Do you have any stories coming up in this area? That's it. Just ask a question. Just ask a question. And they say yes or no. You know, it's just, but you're asking, you're not pitching. Big difference.
Lee, I think your presentation was awesome. I never really even thought about that middle ground, and you're spot on. And because of what you said to me earlier, I'm already, the head's already percolating about this other thing regarding the email you sent me. And I'm like, oh man, I was having a hard time focusing on everything you were saying because my brain was just going on all this other stuff. But it's absolutely phenomenal what you teach us. It really is, because we don't always, being the doer, we have our mission, our goal, whatever. And to change that mindset and not just be in the center category that you pointed out, but to be the promoter, heck yeah. Why do the hard stuff and not see the end result? I mean, it only makes sense to take, that suggestion that you just gave me and say, okay, this is my story. This is what happened. But here, I'm on the top of the, on top of the mountain with my megaphone saying, I have a message. That's powerful, because all of a sudden it's like I want to slap someone in the face and say, hey, pay attention.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuck.
So we're, I think everybody froze.
You're good.
I froze. But you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. I love the passion that you bring to us every Wednesday. And yeah, life does get in the way. Family happens, but you know what? We have to keep on going focused as promoters, because I don't want to be that one that's trying to, I was right there yesterday looking at, why are people not reading my posts? Right?
Why are you posting? I forgot the posting thing. You're right.
I'm not even there much anymore. Because there's too much other stuff going on. You don't have time to be sitting in there and getting caught up in that squirrel circle. The next thing you know, you're like a squirrel going, oh, hey, and you're following everybody else. I'm like, that's wasting time. It's not putting any money in our pocket.
I mean, if you're producing like what we're doing, we're using social media, meaning usury, right? They have a Facebook Live. I'm using that platform to create content that goes into more about what we're doing. So I can take this into a megaphone strategy. So I'm only using Facebook. So yes, you see me using Facebook to communicate with all my members to get them notified that the meeting is starting in a few minutes. Are you going to be there? Yes, I use Facebook to a certain degree, but in terms of the potential, you can only pay to play in Facebook, really, and who's going to create that kind of budget when promoting on a bigger stage is the key. And just to summarize, the 4 critical components of the membership are the WWTVN, the 5-minute spotlight, income activator, right? The sponsor list and the radio list. And everybody else gets focused on all of the other things of the doing, and they don't realize it, including myself. And I'm better even today than I was last week. And I know that Lee is absolutely right. And the thing that she's most right about is, I even found myself last week, I signed up with Moria to buddy up, to call on the radio stations. And I ran into like, what am I going to say now? And also, who's that contact? Because the contact might have been outdated, and then I have to make that step. And then I was thinking to myself as I'm going through this process, I'm like, there's the change, and then there's the delay of the change, right? The postponement. That was last week's video that you showed.
The guy in the camel.
The attempters are just the delay of the transformation. They're the delay of the change, and that's it. And there's either the transformation, the summer for me, or there's the delay of the transformation. It's that simple. There's no. It's so black and white, so to speak. It's so simple, and I think I just have to give my hats off to you. Big applause. Sorry, it took 2.5 years. of
Well,
knowing.
exactly. Hats off to you, Lee, because you're absolutely right on this.
Yeah.
We don't, there's and Bettina is too, there is a value to all aspects of social media, but not, the thing we need to all remember is not to get caught up in the social media squirrel cage. We have to make sure we don't get sucked into that swamp, because we can lose our whole, hours in our day and just be, oh, hey, so-and-so had a baby, whatever. And what we need to do is use that as a tool to keep, promoting what we have as our message.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to be working with you too. And everybody else.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. A lot of times we have to understand and keep in mind that the key to what we're doing is first find out what is our niche. We have to find out who is our audience. Who are we trying to serve our situations to? Because I know I read a couple years ago in Business Weekly where it says 7 out of 10 businesses that go to try to make money first as their first option will fail. You need to actually answer a question or serve a need, and the people that give you what you want. When McDonald's open up their business, they're serving food. If you like their food, you buy it, you eat it. It's end of story. It's not what they're saying, well, I might be doing something. I might be getting ready to do something. No. Here's what I got. You like it, you take it, you go with it. But in order to do that, you got to know what your audience is, who you're trying to serve your message to. That's why you can stay out that wheel on Facebook and just advertising anywhere and everywhere, because not everybody may not be into what you're trying to do. And there may not be a need for what it is that you're doing to the people that you're promoting to, simply because you haven't backtracked first and figured out who are you trying to sell your product to? Who is it most likely to go to?
Yeah. Be the answer to the question that anybody is typing in that little bar.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter whether it's a YouTube search or Google search or Bing search. At the end of the day, you be the answer. You have the message that answers their question. Then, and we talked in another session, Andre, I might be able to figure it out to send it to you, where it's the keyword planner also, right? The keywords and the phrases and, but at the end of the day, go straight to who you're going to call, make that short list, make it quick. We've got a list for you, the radio list. And Sally and I and Moria, and I believe Sally's engaged Allie in this, we're updating the existing radio list. We're going to have it on a Google Doc, sharing with our members so that they can actually get as updated. If I call somebody and it's outdated, I'm going to put the new person there, and then everybody's going to get the update. So same thing with sponsors at that, because, a lot of people have lost their jobs. They've changed careers in the last year. And, there's some updating to do. But at the end of the day, if the station still exists, probably 99% of the stations that we put on the radio list are actually still producing radio. It's maybe the producer's gone, but,
Yeah. So basically understand your message to people. Make sure that your website sends leads to a business that will pay you money for that lead. If you incorporate your business within the We Empower You membership, then Bettina pays you money for that acquisition or lead. She pays $5 per lead if you want to go lead based. But just identify what your message is. When you've identified what your message is, now you've got the message where you can make $1 million business out of it with the tools of the We Empower You membership. So what is your message? Call 5 radio stations, call 5 TV shows, see what their message is, if they're talking about whatever your message is, whatever your alignment is. And everybody's different. Everybody's got a different twist, but everybody's got a message that people will want to hear. If you're confused by your message, Google it, and that will give you clarity.
Yeah. And we have, as of this last month, we have total and complete proof of concept, because some of the income that came into my little doors here that also gets distributed came in, and it's called residual income. It's not money that I had to go do anything for except to send my billing out. And so we're full circle 1 year out. We've now proven that this works. Even though we knew it worked, we now have proven it has worked. And
the renewal revenue. Yeah.
And people like TU just sent the money in. She didn't even get an invoice.
Yeah, well, because TU is well on her way to creating $1 million business.
Yes. And, I was just reflecting that, Social Security doesn't provide much for people my age. I'm 63. And if I was relying on Social Security, I better be thinking again. Well, this was way more than Social Security. I was like, this is going to happen every single month for the rest of my life. I'm doing this. And you can do it too. And we can teach you how. But I have to say that last year, I had a lot going on with family, and now my family's moved out of the area. So I have more time available. And I also have a full-time marketing agency. And so juggling all of those three things at the same time, building the summit, 5 of them, building a team, and so on. And those are all excuses. They're totally right. Those are all excuses.
Things, yeah.
But yep, that was some of where I lived was in the attempter mode. Some of where I lived was in the doer mode, and then some of where I lived, thank God, was in the promoter mode. And I can totally see, and Aggie might want to comment about the numbers piece too, because she is one of our finance people in here, and she's operating as the COO consultant to us, so we empower you. But it works, it pencils out, and that was music to my ears when it was like, this is working. I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to head out unless there's any quick question.
I have a question, Lee.
Hello, Aggie.
Hello, Lee. How are you?
Fine, beautiful Aggie.
Very interesting today. I was hoping you could give us an example of how we would incorporate the We Empower You membership in our own membership programs if we were trying to build one. Or does it look like one of our items in our membership program is the We Empower You and then it has everything listed underneath it? Or do we put something inside of it and then we're naming it something else because we're branding it with ourselves? Or are we selling We Empower You? What does that vision look like? I'm not clear on it yet.
Okay, well, I have my Income Activator website platform that I promote, but then I promote the We Empower You membership as a bonus to my service. So if you can get my service standalone, or you can get my service with this gorilla of We Empower You behind it. And the We Empower You gorilla keeps growing, keeps growing, keeps growing. So I would incorporate whatever you're doing and saying, here, as a lead that identifies what you are, what you do, what you want to promote, and say, here's what I do, here's the benefits, and you can get it right now. You can also get this gorilla membership. And I would use the We Empower You membership as your own membership. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the Aggie membership. But yeah, I know you would.
Yeah, instead of Angie's list, it's Aggie's list.
Aggie membership. But it's using the We Empower You umbrella because you don't want to do these weekly meetings. You don't want to deal with, if there's a sponsorship package question, Bettina deals with that. You don't want to deal with the maintenance of a membership and the growth of a membership. That's insane because that's the world we've been living in the last year. That's insane. And Bettina moving from a doer of a membership into a promoter, I have to take one of her Gemini twins and just focus on that, because Bettina has not yet been a promoter until she gets on CNN. Get on CNN, then call me.
Then
Fox, ABC, NBC, that's a promoter. And I'm going to hold her little foot to her 4'0" foot to the fire.
Yeah. And a half.
See? But yeah, I wouldn't do the friggin' membership. That's a nightmare, the maintenance, the renewals, all that. is insanity. It's much easier just to incorporate what you do within the membership and lead with that.
Yeah. And you know, the really cool thing, Aggie, and this is something that is hard for people to wrap their head around. You can actually put this membership inside the context of something that's low ticket, like you might have, like Rosie has a $250 package inside her membership, and she charges $15.99, right? And she puts this $250 package in there. Or you could even say, I have a $2,500 package, right? Which includes maybe some consulting services that you have. So you can go low ball or high ball, it doesn't really matter, but they're gonna get whatever else you add in there, your, as Lee calls it, your secret sauce. And then in addition, you can go, like I said, you know, pot more than the value of the membership. Like when I go to do a sponsorship, I'm going to offer every single sponsor a $15.99 package that's built into the $25,000 and the $50,000 and the $5,000 and the $10,000 sponsorship. It's built into it. So you can go high or you can go low. It doesn't really matter. And there's examples already. Lauren Archer built in her $15.99 package. Art Johnson had a $997 package that he threw into his membership. And so he offers, not, you can do the $997, or I have a $15.99 over here, which includes everything in the $997. So it's an upgrade to anything, or an upsell, so to speak, to anything that you're already doing.
Okay.
Aggie, let me just give you one quick example, and here's probably where it's going to go. We've got the We Empower You membership that you can use as the gorilla behind you, and you can lead with your whatever secret sauce. In the background, the We Empower You membership may end up being sponsored by Best Buy, where Best Buy may throw in, let's just say they throw in a computer to the membership. So you could say, yes, here's my secret sauce, or you could just for $50.99 get my secret sauce and get the website, the TV show, the sponsorship package, and the computer.
Okay.
And you know, the funny thing is, you can also do anything that you would normally do to promote, right? You could say, I'm going to have a drawing. Any of my new members that sign up, I'm going to have a drawing, and somebody's going to win a laptop. And then you sign up 10 people. And you get one of them gets a laptop. I mean, there's everything you can do in marketing is you can do with this We Empower You membership. But the cool thing is you'll never have to do what Lee and I are doing, showing up 52 weeks out of the year to the meetings, you know, and running the meetings and planning the meetings. And, you know, like she says, all the other back end stuff. So we're you know, we are still needing to do the promotion, but we're also the operations. So we have to do some of the work to keep this going, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying not to teach you that. We're trying to teach everybody how to promote. And it's not like we're saying, you know, like in my case, I have a full-time agency that generates 6 figures. Do I want to just stop that and go right into promotion? No, I have to migrate my time to promotion, agency, you know, so that there's a little bit of a transition for me to go to full-time promotion. I can guarantee you my retirement is going to be full-on promotion, not agency work, because it, you know, it takes my time.